We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video we're going to do my spoiler full review of Godzilla 2014. Yes! And this review will contain spoilers. I am going to rot this movie. So if there's even some minor things you may not want to know about, do not watch this video because I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to ruin it. It's a spoiled, rotten review. I'm going to speak and leak everything about this movie. So, if you see my spoiler-free review, I pretty much really tried hard. It was really difficult to talk about the movie and not give away anything. So here's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to go through the movie real quick from one step to the other. And look, it was a fun movie. I was very satisfied. I was very happy with what I saw. It was even somewhat better than what I expected. Because I'm not going to lie, I did have lowered expectations the whole time. Ever since I began this journey, my expectations of this movie have been low, not because I didn't trust or believe, but because Godzilla is a hard sell. It is a hard sell. No matter what director you are, Godzilla is a hard character to sell these days, especially in the United States when nobody really takes him seriously. But the opening of this movie, the first act of this movie is very strong. I feel that Juliette Binoche and Bryan Cranston, I definitely think that killing Bryan Cranston in the first half of the movie was a mistake. I will say that. I think it was a mistake. I think they should have taken him along to ride a little bit longer, but that's not to take anything away from the beginning of the movie where he's front and center. He gives a great performance, albeit a short one. It is a short performance. Don't expect to see this guy like very far into the movie. I mean, he pretty much dies shortly after Juliette Binoche. So then, the funny thing is the scene in Janjira is very, very sad, even if you know what's happening. I was taken back. I was like, wow, I've seen this 100 million times in trailers, and it still made me like choked up, because there was a part of it that you see in the movie that you don't see in the trailer or in the commercial spot, and that's when he closes the door. There's nobody there. There's nobody there at all, and he turns and he's crying, and you hear people knocking, and you see like 3 or 4 scientists screaming, and you see their whole face is just, and finally they show her. And she looks at him, and she knows that he had to do what he had to do. She takes her mask off, and she just accepts her fate, and she says, take care of our son, take care of Joe. And it was very powerful. It was very powerful. I can see why a lot of people, a lot of critics are kind of criticizing the middle act of the movie because, again, Cranston's character dies shortly after that, a couple of scenes later, when the Muto breaks out of its cell or breaks out of its cocoon. And then it's pretty much Joe Brody the rest of the way, and it's tough because Aaron Taylor was not very strong. It's not that he did bad. He wasn't a bad actor in this movie, but he put it this way. He had a hard act to follow. It was a hard act to follow what Binoche and Cranston did in the first act. So even if he did his best, I don't even think he could have topped that. Cranston really pulled a great performance. He pulled a great performance for the short time that he was on screen. Now, in terms, and I just want to get this out there now. I don't want this to be a long video, so I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes here. So anyone that's worried about whether or not you're going to see Godzilla a lot, you get to see him. You get to see quite a bit of him. I read some reviewers said you get 18 minutes of Godzilla. I think that's horseshit. That's first of all, you get him in the opening of the movie, okay? You don't see his full body, but you see him, his spines coming out of the water and all this kind of stuff. I would say a couple of minutes after the first Muto pops out and takes off for the across the Pacific, they already start talking about him, and they start discussing how he's going to wake up soon because of this nuclear EMP or whatever that the Muto's giving off. And yes, they do give off EMP, or this one gives off EMP. Well, they both do, kind of. To make a long story short, the airport scene, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get there, but it's not disappointing either. You see the Muto and Godzilla fight, but you see him fight from a news standpoint perspective. Like the little kid is sitting and he's watching the news, and they're showing footage of the two monsters fighting. Still a very good clip, though. Now, I'm going to go right to the atomic breath, because this is, I know, what a lot of people want to hear who don't mind spoilers. The atomic breath, the way they did it was very good. Don't expect like this big, it's not a big thing of like whoosh of breath. Actually, it's very thin compared to the original, but it has like a flow to it. It does look kind of like, you know what it looks like? Otachi's spit from Pacific Rim, only it doesn't spray, it just shoots straight. But it has that same kind of vibrant blue, and it has waves in it. It shoots like straight out from his throat. You know, it doesn't cover his whole mouth. It's just straight from the throat. The way his light backs up, and the way they set it up when it happened, oh man. You know, basically, Ford Brody basically saved Godzilla's life in this part. The Muto are nesting. They're using the nuclear power to start hatching, and there's a lot of eggs. I mean, they're all over the place. And Ford says he's about to retreat with the military, but he looks back and he realizes that there's a lot of eggs with little Mutos in it. And he lights the shit on fire and catches the attention of the large female, which is the 8-legged one. And she comes back and she's looking through and she's pissed and she notices him. And she's like leaning towards him, like almost like she's going to probably eat him. And you see this blue light come in the background. And she turns around and all you see is Godzilla in the silhouette, slowly, one spike at a time, starts lighting up his back. And it was just like I wanted. They show him, he burrows his chest out, and he blasts her. And I'm like, that's exactly how I pictured it. And you guys know, if you see my videos, that is exactly how I said I want to see it. That's how they do it. They show him, he burrows his chest out, he kind of like gets off, like, and then boom, there it is. And it was a sight of beauty. A sight of beauty. It's a fantastic movie. You know, you don't get oversaturated with Godzilla, but man, the way Gareth set it up, and the flow was great. I thought the flow from beginning to end was fantastic. You know, you don't get, it's not slow to me. Like, it flowed good. It kind of just carried, the story carried in such a good pace. It didn't feel rushed, but it didn't feel overly long. It was never boring. You felt the build-up. He did a good job of building it up. Did you see Godzilla right away? No. But you felt the build-up. You know, you see him swimming. You see his spikes up. You know, you hear him. He's there. It builds and it builds and it builds until finally the climax scene that takes place with him fighting the Mutos is incredible. They tag team him. They kick the shit out of him. I mean, they kicked the shit. In fact, if it wasn't for Ford, they would have killed him. They both had him pinned down on the ground, just poking at him with their claws. And he's there like this, and he's taking it. Then Gareth did the one thing I didn't think you could ever do with Godzilla. He had his atomic breath. We know that the Godzilla of Japan has the pulse attack, and Gareth has created what I like to call the kiss of death. The kiss of death. He, just when you think he's going to copy King Kong, he grabs the 8-legged Muto's mouth. He looks like he's about to break his jaw, and he stops halfway. His back lights up and down the throat, and blows his head out. And then he holds his head. He looks. He drops it. He looks to the sky, and he roars. You don't get any more epic than that. You really don't. What else do I need to say? You know, if you don't like spoilers, you show the spoiler review. But if you're a person who doesn't care about spoilers and you're seeing this review right now, you don't believe what I'm saying, go see this movie. This shit is epic. There's no way. I still am in disbelief at how he took a character like this that is traditionally very cheesy, and he did a lot of justice to it. And I think, in my honest opinion, I think not seeing Godzilla throughout the whole movie does the movie more justice than anything else. Because you get that nice build-up. And finally, when you see him perform, it is like, man, it's like, I said it in my last video and I'll say it in this one. Gareth makes you thirst throughout the whole movie, and you get a sip, and you get a sip. But the more sips you get, the more thirsty you get. Until finally, at the end, you take your drink. And boy, is it a good drink. So just cover a couple of things real quick before I end this video. There is male and there is a female. The female is the 8-leg. The winged one is the male. The winged one's badass. I think the winged one did more damage to Godzilla than anything. I mean, he beat the shit out of him. But then Godzilla smashed it with its tail into a building and split its head. It was great. They are kind of, the big surprise on the Halo drop, just so you guys know, is just that you see them in the midst of battle while they're coming down. So, and I think a lot of people figured that much, or they figured they'd see the Mutos mating. The Mutos don't mate per se. They just, it's hard to explain. You got to go see it. But basically, let's put it this way. The nuclear power fertilizes her eggs. Put it that way. You don't get to see quite the destruction you think you might see. Like, every part of the destruction in the movie is shown from a perspective of a news conference. Oh, and they trolled everybody on the movie commercial. When they show Vegas and they show that monitor that says 6.3 earthquake in Japan, that's on the commercial. On the TV, it says Vegas under attack, and you see the 8-leg Muto wrecking Vegas right before he wrecks that spot where the TV is. So, But anyway, guys, we're going to talk more about the movie. I'm just trying to keep, look, it's already almost 12 minutes, so I'm trying to keep these short. But we're going to do more videos discussing about this. Don't forget that this Saturday at 9 p.m. is going to be the live stream where we can discuss everything about the movie. By then, I would have seen it a second time. I am going to see it again tomorrow night because my wife wants to see it. And that's it. That's it, man. It's been a long journey. It's been worth the wait. I'm very, very happy. I'm very satisfied with what Garrett did. Anyway, guys, this is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to do my spoiler full review of Godzilla 2014. Yes! And this review will contain spoilers. I am going to rot this movie. So if there's even some minor things you may not want to know about, do not watch this video because I'm going to ruin it. I'm going to ruin it. It's a spoiled, rotten review. I'm going to speak and leak everything about this movie. So, if you see my spoiler-free review, I pretty much really tried hard. It was really difficult to talk about the movie and not give away anything. So here's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to go through the movie real quick from one step to the other. And look, it was a fun movie. I was very satisfied. I was very happy with what I saw. It was even somewhat better than what I expected. Because I'm not going to lie, I did have lowered expectations the whole time. Ever since I began this journey, my expectations of this movie have been low, not because I didn't trust or believe, but because Godzilla is a hard sell. It is a hard sell. No matter what director you are, Godzilla is a hard character to sell these days, especially in the United States when nobody really takes him seriously. But the opening of this movie, the first act of this movie is very strong. I feel that Juliette Binoche and Bryan Cranston, I definitely think that killing Bryan Cranston